They said it couldn't be done. Australia against Kenya, Australia against Ethiopia, Australia against France, the global powerhouses that own this event. But on Saturday, January 10th, 2026 in Tallahassee, Florida, Jessica Hull and her teammates did the impossible. They took down the Giants, they ended Kenya's reign, they made history. And Hull's anchor leg, absolutely epic.
Jess Hull is streaking away here in the opening race of the 2026 World Athletics Cross Country Championships, and that smile is something we've seen a lot of in the last couple of years.
Cross country is brutal. 10 kilometers of hills, mud, grass, and pure suffering. It's the ultimate test of endurance. And for decades, East Africa has dominated. Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda. These nations produce the greatest distance runners on Earth. But there's one event where anything can happen. The mixed relay. 4 athletes, 2 men, 2 women, 2 kilometers each, 8 kilometers total. Pure chaos. And in Tallahassee, at the World Athletics Cross Country Championships, Australia brought their A-game. And this was the first time the United States hosted the World Cross Country Championships since Boston in 1992. 34 years, American fans packed Appalachia Regional Park, ready to witness greatness. They got it. Just not from the team they expected. Australia fielded their strongest possible lineup, Oliver Hoare, Commonwealth Games champion. He holds the Oceanian outdoor mile record of 3:47. Born in Sydney, Hoare grew up training with his father Greg, a dual world beach running champion. Athletics runs in his blood. His grandfather Fred was a life member of Sutherland District Athletics Club. He became the first Australian to win the prestigious Wanamaker Mile in the race's 96-year history. Linden Hall, Olympic finalist, 3:59 miler. Hall studied at Florida State University from 2011 to 2015. She knew this course intimately and received a detailed breakdown from her old coach. Home field advantage, Jack Anstey, 3:51 miler, called up with just 10 days notice. And Jessica Hull, the anchor, born October 22, 1996, in Wollongong. She started running at age 8, guided by her father, Simon, a former national-level middle-distance runner. Growing up in Albion Park, Hull also played soccer until age 14 before fully committing to athletics. She won the under-17 1500 meters at the 2012 Australian Championships and made her international debut at the 2014 World U20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon, the same city where she would later attend university. At the University of Oregon, she became a 2-time NCAA champion while studying human physiology. In 2019, she signed with Nike and joined the now-defunct Nike Oregon Project. Her breakthrough came in 2020 when she shattered the 18-year-old Australian 5,000-meter record. Hull is the 5th fastest woman in history over 1,500 meters with a personal best of 3:50.83. She holds Oceanian records in 5 events and the world record in the 2,000 meters. She's a 6-time Australian national champion, winning 3 titles each in the 1,500 meters and 5,000 meters. In July 2023, she ran 4 minutes 15.34 seconds for the mile, taking nearly 3 seconds off the Australian and Oceanian records. Olympic silver medalist, World Championships bronze medalist. 3 years earlier in Bathurst, Hull and Hoare won bronze in the mixed relay with Stuart McSwain and Abby Caldwell, Australia's first global medal in this event. But bronze wasn't enough. They came to Tallahassee for gold. There's been a belief that we can not just medal, but we can probably win it, Hoare said before the race. We weren't afraid to try and run to win. Hull echoed that confidence. If you look at the timing of the bronze in Bathurst, it could definitely be seen as a turning point, she explained. It cemented that Australian middle-distance runners show up at major championships ready to contend. If we can put together our best races on the day, we have an opportunity to do something special. But Australia wasn't the favorite, not even close. Kenya was. They had won 3 of the 4 mixed relay golds since 2017. 4-time winners. They'd never missed the podium, ever. Their lineup included world 1,500-meter bronze medalist Reynold Cheruiyot and 2-time medalist Winfried Mbithi. Ethiopia brought 3:56-miler Hirut Meishesha. France had European indoor champion Agata Guillemot, a former heptathlete. The United States ran on home soil, 15 teams total, all hunting gold. But Australia, They were the underdogs with a plan. The gun went off at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Uganda's Silas Chemutai took an early lead, hitting 1 kilometer in 2:33. USA's Ethan Strand and Kenya's Reynold Cheruiyot followed. Hoare tracked them patiently. The alligator logs came next, wooden obstacles shaped like alligators scattered across the course. Strand navigated them perfectly and pulled ahead. Strand finished the first leg in 5:12, USA led. France third, Australia fourth. Hoare had done his job, keep Australia in contention. Kenya's Winfred Mbithe took over and surged to the front. Kenya was back in control, but Linden Hall wasn't intimidated. She moved to the front and started building a lead. She made easy work of the logs, while Mbithe struggled and almost tripped. Hall reached the halfway point with a 6-second lead. Her split? 5:57, the fastest leg so far. France's Sarah Madeline moved into second. Australia had the lead. Linden had a blinder. She was so measured and calculated, and Jack held his own off 10 days' notice. "I'm really proud of him," Hull said afterward. Anstey took the baton with a 6-second cushion. His job? Hold it. But France had other ideas. Antoine Senard ran 5:14, the fastest split of the entire race. At 5 kilometers, the gap was 1 second. Then Senard took the lead. France was in front, Kenya closing, Ethiopia lurking, USA back in medal contention. Senard handed to Agathe Guillemot with a 2-second advantage. Australia was in second, with 1 leg to go. This is what champions are made for. Hull received the baton and immediately went to work. Guillemot had the lead. A European champion, a 3:56 miler, a fierce competitor. But Hull was an Olympic silver medalist, a world record holder, the 5th fastest woman in history, and she was hunting. Hull reeled in Guillemot gradually, patient, controlled, devastating. With 1 kilometer to go, Hull had taken a 2-second lead. Behind them, Ethiopia's Hirut Meshesha had moved into third. Kenya was stuck in fourth. For the first time ever in this event, Kenya was off the podium. Hull dug deep through the alligator logs, through the mud, through the pain. Guillemot fought hard in the closing stages, but Hull was too strong. She strode ahead, all smiles, as she crossed the finish line. 22 minutes, 23 seconds, gold. France finished 3 seconds behind in 22:26. Silver, an incredible performance. Ethiopia claimed bronze in 22:34. Kenya finished 4th in 22:42. The United States 5th in 22:43. Australia had done it. They'd beaten the Giants. They'd ended Kenya's dominance. They'd won Australia's first ever gold medal in the mixed relay. "We're all pretty proud of that one," Hull said after the race. Hoare was beaming. "Hopefully this shows we have great development and culture. To be able to beat those decorated teams with incredible athletes was a great experience." This was Australia's 5th medal in the 46th edition history of the World Cross Country Championships, and their first gold in the mixed relay. Australia's women also shined in the senior race. Lauren Ryan and Leanne Pompiani both posted top 15 finishes, a feat last achieved by Benita Willis in 2008. Australian distance running is on the rise, and the world is taking notice. Jessica Hull crossed that finish line with her arms raised and a smile on her face. She had just anchored her team to gold. She'd run down a European champion. She'd delivered under pressure. She'd made history. Hoare set them up. Hall broke it open. Anstey held it together. Hull brought it home. 4 athletes, 1 dream, 1 gold medal. They weren't supposed to win. Kenya was the favorite. Ethiopia had the depth. France had the tactics. But Australia had belief. They had preparation. They had each other. And they had Jessica Hull. This is what legends are made of. Not just winning, but winning when it matters most. Winning against the best. Winning when nobody expects it. In Florida, on American soil, in front of thousands of fans, Australia made a statement. They're not just contenders anymore. They're champions. And Jess Hull, she's epic.